Oh man, this crypto market is crashing. Potentially more downside here for altcoins. But which altcoins am I actively DCAing right now? In this video, I'm going to share at least three of the altcoins I'm currently DCAing. But not just that, I'm also going to share the rationale of how I decide if certain altcoins are in a good position to DCA, to buy the dip on, and if they're relatively underpriced compared to the wider market. If you appreciate this type of content even on a weekend, smash them likes. Do not forget to subscribe. And also, if you want to trade with me and the community, make sure you jump into our Telegram community where we actively trade altcoins. IjazCrypto.com/TG. Link will be the very first one in the description. If you're looking for an exchange to trade with, check out the links in the description as well. They do support the channel, so definitely go show them some love. Bitcoin here, let's take a look at the weekly candlesticks. Last week, down 2.7%. This week looks set to close around down 3% as well. So 2 consecutive red weeks here. When you look at it from this perspective, is it super scary? No. Look how extended we are from the EMA ribbon. I mean, the weekly EMA ribbon comes in at 54,000. But the reason we're sensing and feeling a lot of pain is due to leverage. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, there was this one guy who 3x longed Pepe and got himself wrecked, losing over $1 million. And this is the kind of behavior that's going to lead to panic in the market. It's the cascading liquidations. We've seen over 850 million. That's almost $1 billion wrecked in just 24 hours. And that is from greedy, overzealous long traders. Generally retail traders like you and I who just get overexcited, right? They want to turn 1,000 into 100,000 overnight. They want to turn 100,000 into 10 million overnight. They want to turn 1 million into 1 billion overnight. And they've got this mentality that leveraging meme coins oftentimes is going to get them there. Now, you guys know, against, popular kind of votes, I just provide pragmatic content. It's boring. I'll tell you to eat your veg. I'll say, guys, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some basic things there. But the reality is to avoid this. Why would you give $1 billion to market makers overnight? Why would you be so over leveraged to get yourself wrecked? You take 3 steps forward and then you take 15 back. What is the point? Slow and steady wins the race. Did your mum not read you The Tortoise and the Hare? Right? It's important. So when you look at this market, when you get these cascading liquidations, it creates a fear in the market. But something interesting going on. We've not got too much underlying fear right now. Take a refresh of the Fear and Greed Index. We're still sat at 72. Despite what's going on, market participants know. They're not fools. They've seen crypto do this before. Pumps and dumps and volatility. Each cycle, the Bitcoin participants, you and I, become more aware of, hang on, they're just trying to fake us out. We're nearly at the halving. We've got the Bitcoin spot ETF. Do you think I'm going to get shaken out this market? And so it becomes harder to scare this market. Now, of course, if you go catch up on my video yesterday and also the video I shared 10 days ago before that, I warned about a macroeconomic shift. I warned that the market is becoming worried that inflation is rearing its head again and that we may not get the rate cuts, right? The market's now no longer pricing in these rate cuts as fundamentally as they were doing before. This is going to be an important narrative. You need to be aware of it because it's going to affect our investments. But let's now get into the altcoins. Which altcoins am I actively buying? So if you take a look at Bitcoin, am I actively buying the dip? No, not just yet. And the reason is we're not hugely corrected. If you look at this as a pattern, we're not very retraced. I mean, like I said, coming down to the EMA ribbon, 54,000, that is a good value buy, a solid value buy. Even if I bought halfway down to the EMA ribbon, around 60,000 support is a good, strong buy. And the closer we get and the deeper we get into the EMA ribbon, the better the bargain we are getting here on Bitcoin, closer and closer to a halving with all the positive things we know are to come with this bull market. And so if we take that same motivation through to our altcoins, I'm going to share with you which altcoins I want to start adding in. And the first one I'm looking at straight off the bat is Ethereum. I mean, if you look at this a couple of weeks ago, on the week of 11th of March, just within 4 weeks ago, right? Within 4 weeks ago, this Ethereum hit over $4,000. You are now looking at Ethereum at 3,200, and in fact, it even flushed down as low as $3,087. For me, Ethereum is a good nibble. Hold up, do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups. how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out, link is in the description. Would I go, if I wanted to buy Ethereum, will I go and drop $10,000 right now on Ethereum? Well, if I wanted to DCA 10,000, and I'm using that for easy numbers, I would start nibbling. I'd divide that 10,000 into 5 chunks of $2,000, and I would start nibbling. And I'd throw the first one in, and I'd start monitoring. If the price continues to fall, I'm throwing the next 2. If it falls low into the EMA ribbon, I'm putting another 2. And if we go deep into the EMA ribbon, I'm throwing the rest until I'm DCA'd in this position. Investing and trading is not binary. It's not, am I in the market? Are we going to rotate and I need to throw all my 10 grand in now? No. Chances are this market may want to pull back, or people will start buying the dip. Either way, I want to start nibbling. I don't want FOMO, right? I want to start nibbling. So I'm going to divide my chunks into those 2 grand chunks, and I'll start nibbling. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So my first pick is Ethereum. Next up, this one might shock you, right? This one might shock you. Matic. Yeah, look at Matic. This has lost its weekly EMA ribbon. This has lost its weekly EMA ribbon. The value buy on Matic right now is absolutely insane. You have to remember, this was an altcoin which, when it was in favor, ran hugely up. Even during the tough year of last year, Matic continued to do well and even went as high as $1.50. And now it's just dropping like a stone at 0.71, losing its EMA ribbon when Bitcoin is miles ahead of its EMA ribbon. So relatively, when I look at this, and I'll prove this with this chart, which is the Matic versus the BTC chart, Matic has been underperforming versus Bitcoin for a very, very long time. Now, of course, a lot of altcoins have been underperforming against Bitcoin, but this is just horrendous. This is just blood, right? I mean, every single week losing value hugely. I mean, this week, 18% underperforming Bitcoin. So Bitcoin dumped even more, right? Huge pullback. And this is the thing. When altcoins are in their hot narrative, when everybody's talking about them, all the YouTubers, everybody on Twitter or X or whatever, they're all talking about them. That is not when you want to be FOMOing in. Right? You want to be buying when people kind of forgot about them. Oh, look, no one's talking about Matic for a good couple of months now. Let me go get some cheap bags, because nobody really cares right now, right? You're hugely retraced. Now, if we carry on, we can then see that here, it's lost its EMA ribbon, right? Lost its EMA ribbon. And so for me, Matic is the next one I'm looking at. The next one might be a little bit controversial, but similar profile is Cardano. Again, one of these coins that for the very long period of time, it will just not move. I mean, if you go back into historical cycles, which we've monitored Cardano before in historical cycles, it just can go for very long periods of time without wanting to move. But now, what I will be looking to do is I want to start nibbling. This is already below its EMA ribbon, guys. It's operating below its weekly EMA ribbon, whilst Bitcoin is extended over it. So one for me to look at is Cardano as well. Again, a project which I won't let be a big, huge part of my portfolio, but it's gonna be there within the layer 1 segment of my portfolio. And for reasons very, very clear. When you look at other projects, like if you look at the other layer 1 solutions I own, whether it's Solana, whether it's some Near protocol, whether it's some Phantom, these are projects which move fast. Right? They move fast and therefore could break things and could cause problems, right? You've seen that with Solana and the amount of downtime they've had. So I want Cardano as the hedge against that position. I want Cardano as one of the layer 1 solutions in my portfolio, which just doesn't try to grow too fast. It's methodical, it's peer reviewed, it's researched the Charles Hodgkinson way, and I like that. It just gives me that piece of calm in my portfolio to have some Cardano. Now, I'm not holding it to go and do some Solana madness or some Phantom madness. I know it will just have times where it lags and just is boring. But I've also seen in the past that when Cardano wants to move, it can move. Don't bet against it. When it wants to move, it can move. So when I'm looking here that we're entering towards the Bitcoin halving, we're entering towards a nice bull market, and I can get nibbles here below the EMA ribbon, for me, that's what I want to be doing there. I want to be nibbling me a little bit more Cardano. And then you can use this exact same methodology for other altcoins you may like, right? You may like certain altcoins. You've done your research, certain altcoins. You're like, when is the time to pull the trigger? Well, take a look. Let's say Solana. So I'm looking at Solana here. It's like the Ethereum situation, right? It is dropping. It's dropping nicer than Bitcoin, but not quite in the EMA ribbon, and definitely not lost its EMA ribbon like I just showed you with Matic and Cardano, right? It's still above. So again, waiting to some of these points, maybe dropping a little nibble now if you've got a bit of FOMO in you, but really waiting until the EMA ribbon to drop some more, and then in the middle of the EMA ribbon to drop some more and start slowly DCA. Take a look at XRP, lost its EMA ribbon. So if you're an XRP fan, which I'm not a massive XRP fan, but I'm more of a fan now on XRP than I have been in the past, given their court case ruling. you know, this is a nice level. These are nice levels. When they lose the EMA ribbon, this is what you want to do. You've heard everybody say, you know, don't chase those green candles. Don't, you've heard me say that, right? Don't FOMO in. But what's the opposite of that? It's this. It's this strategy here that I'm teaching you, which is waiting for when the market does not care about a project, when it's losing the trend, it's underpriced relative to market, right? It's reverted more than the mean, which is more than the average, it's lost below its EMA ribbon, and then look to add. And so that's what I'm doing. I'll go down. I mean, let's take a look at Phantom. Not a desperate buy for me right now. I'll be honest, this is not a desperate buy for me now. If I didn't have a position, I was looking to start a position, I'd drop my first nibble, but I wouldn't be going heavy at these points. You're still far from its EMA ribbon. And there's other projects, plenty of other projects that you can look at well into its EMA ribbon. Look at Chainlink, well into its EMA ribbon. Let's take a look at Polkadot, lost its EMA ribbon. These for me are when you're saying not, you know, bargains, but very, very good prices. Very, very good prices relative to the rest of the market. You look at something like Algorand losing its EMA ribbon. Dogecoin is not. So for me, nah. There's still some room here for this to fall. You look at something like Aptos losing its EMA ribbon. Cosmos Atom losing its EMA ribbon. So these are the levels that I'm looking for on these kinds of things. Uniswap losing its EMA ribbon. These are the coins that are now coming into juicy, juicy price points on the weekly chart. Now, of course, if Bitcoin decides to bounce, this could be short-lived, right? You could get this opportunity maybe for the rest of today, tomorrow, the day after maybe. But then after that, Bitcoin might want to bounce. Or Bitcoin might want to dump even more. And if Bitcoin decides it wants to pull back even more, then these things will all start losing its EMA ribbon and we'll start to see a big retracement to the downside. And that is when we need to start reassessing to say, okay, how far does Bitcoin want to go? Because if Bitcoin's like, I just want to test my EMA ribbon and bounce, great. If it wants to really start falling, expect altcoins to fall quite powerfully. And that is when I want to be going heavier, because that's when you're going to get some serious dips. Do I think we're going to go that far down? No, I think this is a well-needed flush out here on Bitcoin. We've hit all-time highs before halving. We've got macroeconomic woes. You've got the Middle East tensions rising heading into this weekend as well. All of that, along with the horrible CPI data we got, along with the non-farm payroll data, which I went through yesterday, you start to understand why markets are just rotating a little bit risk off, which is why you're seeing money flow out of crypto. I mean, if I take a look here at total, which is your total market cap, you can see that we lost a lot of money, right? In just this week so far, $181 billion has left the market, right? It's a decent chunk. It's 7% of the market left. And if I take a look at excluding Bitcoin, just looking at altcoins, that is $132 billion, which is 11% of the market has just left this week, right? So 11% of all the dollars in altcoins right now, including Ethereum, has just left this week. And that gives you opportunities to be buying the dip if you have conviction. However, the majority of people don't have conviction. The majority of people just sway in the wind and do what everybody else is doing. And if you do what everybody else is doing, you're going to get wrecked like everybody else. You're going to be part of the statistics that is $1 billion wrecked in the last 24 hours. What are you going to do? You're going to do your research? Are you going to have conviction and actually have a plan of how you're going to DCA your favorite altcoins? Or are you just going to go 3x on Pepe and lose $1 million overnight? You're cool. If you appreciate type of content, guys, smash the likes. Do not forget to subscribe if you want to trade with me and my community, ijazcrypto.com/TG. It's the very first link in the description. Hope to see as many of you as possible in there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.